There is perhaps nothing more heartrending than to watch someone we deeply love take their last breath. A few years after I was ordained a priest, I knelt at my mother's bedside and watched her take her last breath at the age of 54 on Mother's Day, after just 3 weeks of having learned of her terminal cancer. It took me some time to let go of my anger with God and to be able to renew my faith in the reminder that we find in today's reading from the book of Wisdom. God did not desire Mom's death any more than I did. God created all of us for life. And the origins of suffering, evil, and death resulted from the corruption of creation through sin. And when that gift of imperishable life was lost by the sin of our first ancestors, God sent his own Son to live, die, and rise for us and restore that promised eternal life. Today's gospel from Mark presents two intertwined stories of Jesus' healing power over life and death. But perhaps even more remarkable than the healings that took place were the profound trust and abiding faith in the person of Jesus. We first meet Jairus, a synagogue leader with some authority and power and a good reputation, who is heartbroken and helpless to change the condition of his 12-year-old daughter who is dying. He kneels down before Jesus and begs him to come and touch his daughter with healing power. Jesus immediately sets out to heal the girl. But along the way, a woman afflicted with hemorrhages for some 12 years and totally exhausted from suffering at the hands of physicians who have drained all of her finances, and her condition only grew worse. She fights her way through the crowd just to touch Jesus, believing that deeply in his healing power. And when she touches his cloak, she is immediately healed. Both Jairus and the woman show profound trust and deep faith in Jesus. And he acknowledges this by saying to her, "Daughter, your faith has saved you. Go in peace and be healed." In both cases, Jesus demonstrates that faith is key to accessing God's life-giving power. When Jesus arrives at Jairus' home, he finds mourners convinced that the child is already dead. But when Jesus tenderly takes her hand and says, "Little girl, I say to you, arise," she opens her eyes, gets up, and begins to walk around. Touched by the Son of God, death gives way to life. In our second reading, St. Paul tells the Corinthians and reminds us that it's not enough just to have faith. We need to live our faith by generously sharing our abundance to alleviate the sufferings of others And that's how we imitate the self-living love of our God. Like Jesus, we are called to touch others with all manner of healing that chooses life over all forms of dying. Pope St. John Paul II said it this way: to choose life involves rejecting every form of dying, from hunger, poverty, violence, armed conflict, and mindless damage to our natural environment. Father Richard Rohr, eminent spiritual author, wrote that in our lifetimes, we all experience numerous losses that cause us pain, but also give us the chance, if we choose it, to rise up and be transformed by our God, just as Jairus' daughter was. In today's Eucharist, we don't just experience Jesus' healing touch. We receive the body and blood of Christ that nourishes our souls and strengthens our faith. May that experience more fully help us to be transformed as God desires of all of us, and then to receive the kind of healing and hope that we also can share with others. God bless you.